So here we go. Political action step number 3: use vertical integration in politics, like the old political ward system, to deliver services and direct benefits to Black communities. A form of vertical integration must be applied to politics in order to position Black Americans to gain access to higher socioeconomic ground. Vertical integration will give Black Americans a vertical structure or channel that allows that will allow public office holders to deliver constituency services directly to Black voters. The old ward type system is needed. Early in history, the word ward meant someone who was to be protected. To protect voters, cities were divided into wards that public officials could easily identify and guard. The ward system was a political division of a city, as well as a political tool and patronage system. To a large degree, the ward system became unpopular and was terminated in northeastern urban cities in the early 1940s in response to European ethnic groups who used ward politics and political machinery to empower themselves. Both gave the ethnic groups effective mechanisms for maintaining group unity, political spoils, lines of communication, voter involvement, and a device to enforce political accountability. Black America has never had such a political system or machinery. Now, when I was in Houston this week, I spent time in a place where my friend Willie D from the Ghetto Boys made famous, called the Fifth Ward, and I saw people coming up to Willie while we were eating lunch, and they were saying, "Willie D, Fifth Ward, representing Fifth Ward," right? And I said, man, this is so great that you really put Fifth Ward on the map, and I really think it's great that you represented the people so well in your music. So we were driving back to the airport, listening to some old Ghetto Boy songs. Like that's what we old guys do, I guess. And I said, it's funny. I noticed in your music how there was an evolution, how you went into very political spaces. Like you made songs like "The World Is a Ghetto," and you start talking about these political issues. I could see you as a leader elevating the thinking of this group, which I thought was a powerful use of hip hop as a tool for politics, right? So I think that ultimately this is interesting because Public Enemy understood that too. Public Enemy also understood that hip hop was influential. They understood that hip hop made Black people think. Hip hop got Black people to do things. So they would come out with songs like "Fight the Power," things like that. Well, then there were also people who understood the power of hip hop in a negative way. They understood how it can influence Black kids to use drugs. It can influence them to kill each other. It can influence them to hate their women. It can influence them to become consumers and waste their money, right? So then that's when hip hop took that turn to the left. But going back to this idea of a ward, what other thought that comes to mind is that politics is supposed to be to your benefit. When you are the voter in politics, you're supposed to be the beneficiary of your vote. The problem is that you're not the beneficiary of the voting process. You are a commodity in the political process. The reason that you're a commodity is because you're bought and sold. You're a commodity because the real transaction occurs between the politician and the big donors, the people that give them the money to run. So the big donor comes along and says, "I'm gonna give you a bunch of money so you can go and create a bunch of videos doing the electric slide and the Cupid shuffle to get Black people to vote for you." And then once they all show up and vote for you, and once we bought enough Negroes to get us across the finish line, then we're gonna come back and ask you to do favors for us. People don't do favors for the commodity; they do favors for the what's the word, you might call it the trustor or the beneficiary, whichever term you want to use. To use estate planning terminology, they give the benefits to the people that pay the bills. And this is where capitalism ends up commodifying Black folks. This is where books like Black Labor, White Wealth are so important to understand. This is where Powernomics is so important to understand, because effectively, my challenge with politics is not that I believe you shouldn't vote. What I'm saying is that you shouldn't vote if you're not going to get the benefits of your vote. If you're not convinced that you're going to get benefits from your vote, then no, you should not vote, because you have to make it clear my vote is for me. So in B1 the movie, one of the clips that we put out today, I put this on my Instagram, The Real Boyce Watkins. We talk about why it's such a threat when Black people start saying, "No, I'm putting me first." When Black people say, "I'm not here to serve you, I'm here to serve myself." Well, the reason it's a threat is because people are saying, "Wait a minute, you're not here to serve yourself, you're here to serve me. You're not here to take care of yourself. Who takes care of Black people? You're here to take care of me. That's your job, that's your service." And we're raised to think that way. Even the fact that you're raised to believe that your number one job in life is to grow up and work for a white guy. That's what Black kids grow up thinking. My job is to work really hard, get a good job working for some white kid. So there's a white baby somewhere in another hospital that your Black baby's born in, and the Black baby's being raised to believe at some point I got to go work for that white baby, right? The white baby's not thinking I'm going to go work for Black people when I grow up. I don't think there's ever been a white person on the planet that was raised to believe that they were supposed to go work for Black people. Give me a yes if you understand what I'm saying. There's not a single example that you can point to where any white person, Asian person, Mexican, Arab, anybody was ever born and raised and taught, like, hey, one day if you treat Black people nice, maybe one day a Black man will let you work for him. It does not occur.